The vastness of space is silent, a calm, almost eerie expanse, stretching infinitely in all directions. Earth, a small blue marble in the vast black sea of the universe, spins peacefully on its axis. The stars twinkle far away, their distant light a silent witness to the peaceful existence of human life. But this tranquility will not last. In an instant, everything changes. A sudden disturbance ripples through the calm. The peaceful hum of Earth's atmosphere, the usual signals, and data flowing through satellites, all of it halts as something massive appears in the sky. It is not just a distant object, it's too large to be ignored. A fleet of alien ships materializes on Earth's radar. They are enormous, their sleek designs unlike anything human technology could have ever produced. These ships are not here to explore or to study. They have come to conquer. The aliens, known as the Koreth, are a race unlike any the humans have ever encountered. They are technologically superior, with ships that defy the very laws of physics. Their civilization spans thousands of years, and they have destroyed countless worlds. For them, Earth is just another weak, unimportant planet in a galaxy full of lesser beings. They had already conquered several other civilizations, leaving behind ashes and ruins. Now, they have set their eyes on humanity. A signal is broadcast to Earth from the Koreth flagship, a massive craft that seems to block out the stars as it hovers above. The message is clear and chilling. The Koreth demand humanity's immediate surrender. They want Earth's resources, its land, and its people. The terms are simple: bow down or face complete annihilation. The message ends, leaving the world in stunned silence. The human race, who has always seen itself as insignificant in the grand cosmos, now faces an unimaginable challenge. The stakes are higher than ever. Earth's very survival is at risk. The question echoes in every mind. Can humans defeat an enemy so powerful? The world holds its breath. Governments scramble for answers. The military begins mobilizing, but no one can truly comprehend what's coming. People across the globe look to their leaders, hoping for some miracle, but deep down, they know that their weapons are no match for the Koreth. The tension is suffocating. Among the chaos, a calm voice rises above the noise. It is the voice of Captain Aiden Brock, leader of Earth's military forces. Brock has seen his share of war, but nothing could have prepared him for this. As he watches the radar, his face tightens, and his hands steady on the controls. The Koreth fleet is overwhelming, far beyond anything humanity could have imagined. His eyes flicker over the data, scanning the ships and their capabilities. They have weapons capable of obliterating Earth with a single strike. Brock knows that time is running out, and they need a plan. Fast. In that moment, the cameras zoom in on Brock's face as he watches the enemy ships descend. The ground trembles slightly, as if even Earth itself is holding its breath. Every second feels like an eternity. And then, against all odds, a surge of defiance rises within him. Humanity may be outgunned and outmatched, but they are not willing to surrender without a fight. Brock's voice cuts through the silence, calm but filled with steely determination. We're not going down without a fight. He turns to his crew, his decision final. Earth's hidden weapon will be deployed. A fleet of cloaked warships, humanity's last line of defense, has been secretly built over the years. These ships, designed in the utmost secrecy, are equipped with advanced cloaking technology that makes them nearly invisible to enemy radar. Brock knows this is their only chance. If the Koreth cannot detect them, they might just have a chance to strike back. The order is given. The cloaked fleet, waiting in orbit, activates its systems. The ships vanish from the radar. For a moment, everything is still. The Koreth, oblivious to the human counterattack, continue their descent, confident that victory is theirs. And then, it happens. A burst of energy shoots out from the cloaked ships, and the first strike is made. The Koreth flagship, the largest ship in the fleet, is caught off guard. A massive explosion erupts in space, lighting up the void like a star being born. The Xoreth are stunned, their flagship destroyed. But as the debris floats in the cold, silent space, the battle has only just begun. The humans have made their move, and for the first time, the Xoreth feel the sting of defeat. But this is only a small victory in a war they know will be brutal. The humans have declared, loud and clear, enough. The Xoreth fleet now turns to face the humans with a new sense of urgency. Their arrogance has been shattered, and they know that they will not easily crush Earth's resistance. But the humans, in their desperation, have shown their true strength. The tension in the air grows even heavier. The opening battle may be over, but the war is just beginning. Captain Brock watches from the command center, his face set in a grim expression. The stakes are higher than ever. Humanity's fate lies in their hands, and the battle for Earth has only just begun. The moment after humanity's first strike, space remains charged with a sense of urgency. The battle between the Xoreth fleet and Earth's defenders has just begun, but already the Xoreth are facing a challenge they never expected. They had underestimated humanity, dismissing them as a species unworthy of consideration. But now, their perception is beginning to change, and their fear is palpable. From the command center aboard the flagship of Earth's cloaked warship fleet, Captain Aidan Brock watches the chaos unfold on his tactical screens. The Xoreth flagship may have been destroyed, but the enemy fleet is still massive, and their assault on Earth is relentless. The humans' first victory is a mere dent in the overwhelming might of the Xoreth. But in that small victory, something has shifted. The humans have shown that they will not go down quietly. With a swift command, Brock signals for the next phase of the plan to begin. The cloaked warships begin to weave through the Xoreth fleet with unmatched precision, their advanced AI controlling their movements and firing patterns. These ships are not just technologically advanced, they are designed for this very moment. With cloaking devices rendering them nearly invisible to enemy radar, and AI systems able to calculate the best course of action faster than any human pilot, Earth's warships have an edge in terms of agility and surprise. However, the Xoreth are not unskilled. Their fleet is still formidable, and their tactics quickly adapt. They start to deploy countermeasures, activating energy shields and advanced sensor systems. The space around them becomes a chaotic battlefield. The silence of space is shattered by the roar of weapons fire as both sides engage in fierce space combat. Ships weave and dodge, firing powerful energy blasts at one another, while debris from destroyed ships floats in the vacuum. Captain Brock's voice cuts through the chaos as he issues commands with calm precision. Steady, don't lose focus. We can win this. On the bridge of one of the human warships, Major Bonnie Carter prepares to lead her squadron into the heart of the battle. Carter is a seasoned pilot, known for her quick thinking and courage. She is not just an officer. She is a symbol of the resolve that has come to define humanity's response to the Xoreth threat. But even with all their advantages, the humans are at a significant disadvantage. Their fleet, though effective, is far smaller than the enemy's. As the battle rages, Brock watches closely as the human warships score another victory. A small part of the Xoreth fleet is destroyed, but the cost is high. The Xoreth are relentless, and as the humans try to hold the line, they are pushed further back. In the midst of the chaos, Carter's ship finds itself under heavy fire. She maneuvers skillfully, dodging blasts and using her cloaking device to stay hidden. But the Xoreth are closing in. They've adapted quickly to humanity's tactics, and now they are targeting human stations that lie vulnerable in orbit around Earth. These stations are crucial for Earth's defense and survival, and their loss could mean disaster for the human race. Major Carter knows what needs to be done. "I'll hold them off," she says, her voice calm but resolute over the comms. Brock protests, but Carter cuts him off. "The stations are more important than my ship. I'll make sure they don't get through." With one last glance at her crew, Carter engages her ship's weapons and dives straight into the heart of the Xoreth assault. Her warship dodges fire, releasing a barrage of missiles that take out several enemy fighters. But as she gets closer to the Xoreth's main assault force, the inevitable happens. An explosion tears through her ship, sending shockwaves through the fleet. The cameras zoom in as Carter's ship begins to break apart, her final heroic stand buying enough time for the remaining human warships to regroup and defend the vulnerable stations. But for those on the ground, for her fellow soldiers, and for Captain Brock, the loss is devastating. Bonnie, Brock whispers, his heart heavy with the weight of the loss. The death of Major Carter hits everyone hard. She wasn't just a soldier. She was a symbol of humanity's courage, of their resolve in the face of overwhelming odds. Her sacrifice becomes a rallying cry for the human forces, a reminder that no matter the cost, they will not give up. As the human forces regroup, the Xoreth continue their onslaught. They now focus on destroying Earth's orbital stations, each of which is a critical node in the planet's defense systems. Brock, though grief-stricken, knows that this is no time for mourning. The battle is far from over, and the humans must push on. The Xoreth's attacks are relentless. They bring in larger ships, deploying bombers and advanced drones to overwhelm the human defenses. The space above Earth becomes a war zone, as the sky is filled with the blazing trails of laser blasts, explosions, and the debris of destroyed ships. But amidst the destruction, humanity's spirit shines. They will not be cowed. With their advanced warships, cloaking devices, and AI-driven strategies, the humans fight back with everything they have. Each victory is hard-earned, but the human forces are adapting, learning, and growing stronger with every exchange. As the battle rages on, the human forces refuse to surrender. They know that every moment they hold out brings them closer to a possible victory. The Xoreth may have greater numbers, but they do not have the one thing humanity possesses: the will to fight, the determination to protect what is theirs. Captain Brock, standing amidst the chaos of the battle, addresses his remaining forces. "We've lost much, but we will lose no more. This is our home. This is our fight. We will not surrender." The camera cuts to the human warships, their crews focused, their minds set on the task at hand. The cloaked ships dart through space, striking at the heart of the Xoreth assault. For every ship they lose, for every comrade who falls, they strike back harder. Humanity is not ready to give up yet. The Xoreth may be technologically advanced, but they have yet to understand the power of human resolve. This battle, this stand, is far from over. The humans may be outnumbered, but they are far from defeated. The stage is set for a final confrontation, and the outcome is uncertain. But one thing is clear: humanity will not go quietly into the night. As long as they have the will to fight, they will continue to resist, no matter the cost. The final stand is coming. And for the Xoreth, this will be the fight of their lives. The suspense continues to build as the battle rages, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats, eagerly anticipating what will come next. The fight for Earth is far from over, and humanity's last stand is only beginning. The weight of Major Bonnie Carter's death presses down on Captain Aidan Brock as he surveys the battlefield. Her sacrifice, while devastating, has ignited a fire within the human forces. Her loss is not in vain. It has only made the resolve of Earth's defenders stronger. For the first time since the war began, there's a clear understanding among humanity. This battle is more than just a fight for survival. It is a fight to prove that they will not go quietly into the night. In the aftermath of her death, Captain Brock and his team gather in the command center. Their faces are hard and determined, but there is grief in their eyes. Each of them carries the pain of loss, but they also carry the weight of responsibility. Bonnie's death wasn't just personal. It was a symbol of everything they stood to lose. Yet it also serves as a reminder of why they must keep fighting. "I promised her I wouldn't stop," Brock says, his voice low but filled with conviction. He looks around the room, making eye contact with each of his officers. We're going to make them pay. For Bonnie. For everyone we've lost. The team nods in silent agreement. There's no turning back now. The humans have been pushed to their limit, and now they have nothing to lose. The underdog story is clearer than ever. Earth's military may be outgunned, outnumbered, and outclassed technologically, but they have something the Xoreth cannot understand, a heart that refuses to stop fighting. As the war rages on, humanity begins to use unconventional tactics to level the playing field. With limited resources and fewer ships than the Xoreth, they can't afford to engage in direct combat on equal terms. Instead, they rely on their ingenuity and the strength of their AI-driven technologies. Drones, once thought to be a minor asset, are now essential. Armed with high-powered weapons and guided by human command, these drones become deadly weapons in the hands of Earth's military. In the heat of battle, Earth's warships begin to deploy these AI drones in swarms. The drones act as decoys, distracting the Xoreth and confusing their sensors. As the Xoreth focus on the drones, the humans make their move. Their ships, hidden in the shadows of the battle, launch surprise strikes, targeting key parts of the Xoreth fleet. The element of surprise is their greatest advantage. They've learned the Xoreth's tactics, and now they're using them against the aliens. But it's not just the drones that are turning the tide. Earth's soldiers, fighting tooth and nail, also rely on their ability to hack into enemy systems. With the Xoreth's reliance on AI for their battle strategies, the humans see an opening. Hackers aboard the human ships work tirelessly, breaking into the Xoreth's communications and navigation systems. They begin to feed the Xoreth false data, causing confusion and disorder within their fleet. The Xoreth, caught off guard, struggle to adapt. What once seemed like an impossible victory for Earth is now becoming a reality. Despite their technological superiority, the Xoreth are not immune to the human spirit. The humans are adapting, fighting smarter, and outwitting the Xoreth at every turn. The battle reaches a fever pitch, and then, in a stunning move, the humans manage to destroy one of the Xoreth's most powerful ships. The explosion shakes the space around them, sending shockwaves through the Xoreth fleet. Debris scatters in the vastness of space, and for a brief moment, it seems like victory is within humanity's reach. Captain Brock watches the explosion from his flagship, his heart pounding. For a moment, it feels like a dream, an impossible dream realized. "We did it," he says quietly. His voice is filled with awe, but also a renewed sense of purpose. We've shown them that we're not helpless. But the Xoreth are not so easily deterred. They quickly regroup, and it becomes clear that the victory, though sweet, was only a small victory in a much larger war. The humans are far from safe. In response to the loss of their ship, the Xoreth retaliate with devastating force. They deploy their superweapon, a weapon of unimaginable power, capable of destroying entire planets in an instant. The humans, though shaken by the destruction they've already caused, now face a threat far greater than any they have encountered before. The Xoreth's superweapon, a massive energy cannon, begins to charge. It's designed to fire a beam of concentrated energy that can reduce entire cities to ash. As the weapon charges, the human forces realize that they have only moments to act. The countdown to Earth's potential annihilation has begun. Captain Brock watches in horror as the superweapon's energy begins to build. The silence on the bridge is deafening, as everyone waits for the inevitable. "We have to stop it," Brock says, his voice filled with determination. "We cannot let them use this weapon." The team scrambles to find a solution. They know that the weapon is too powerful to destroy directly, but there must be another way. With limited time and resources, they consider all their options. Every second counts. The fate of Earth is hanging in the balance, and they must find a way to outsmart the Xoreth once again. As the Xoreth prepare to unleash their weapon, Captain Brock orders all ships to go on the offensive. It's a desperate gamble, but it's the only chance they have. With everything on the line, the human forces charged forward, deploying their drones and hacking systems to disrupt the Xoreth's communications. At the same time, a small team of human soldiers boards one of the enemy ships in an attempt to sabotage the superweapon from within. The tension is unbearable as the soldiers fight their way through the alien vessel, evading enemy guards and hacking into the ship's systems. The humans may have won a small victory in the battle, but now they are facing their greatest challenge yet. As the Xoreth's superweapon charges to full power, the fate of Earth lies in the hands of these few brave souls who refuse to surrender, no matter what it costs them. In the depths of space, humanity's last stand is only beginning. The suspense builds, leaving the audience wondering, will the humans succeed in stopping the Xoreth's superweapon, or will they finally be defeated by the overwhelming power of the alien race they have so bravely fought against? One thing is clear: the battle is far from over, and humanity's will to survive is stronger than ever. The hum of the engines reverberated through the walls of the command center, the sound of Earth's last hope. The Xoreth superweapon, a massive AI-controlled satellite capable of obliterating entire planets, was closing in on Earth. It was a weapon of unimaginable power, and humanity's defenses, however brave and resourceful, were simply no match for it. The clock was ticking down to the final moment, and Captain Aidan Brock knew that the survival of humanity rested on the shoulders of his team. Time was running out. Captain Brock stood in front of a large holographic map, his eyes scanning the red blips that marked the path of the Xoreth's superweapon. It was moving rapidly towards Earth, and there was no way to stop it with conventional weapons. The thought of Earth's destruction, the planet he had sworn to protect, weighed heavily on his mind. The odds were insurmountable, but he refused to give in to despair. His team was his family, and together they had overcome the impossible before. He knew they had to do it again. The mission ahead was simple in concept but deadly in execution: infiltrate the Xoreth mothership and disable the AI controlling the superweapon. It was the only chance they had, but the odds of success were slim. The Xoreth mothership was heavily fortified, and the AI controlling the weapon was far beyond anything humanity had encountered. They would need stealth, skill, and a lot of luck to pull it off. "Are you ready for this?" Brock asked his team as they gathered around him, each member hardened by battle, but carrying their own burden of loss. The death of Major Bonnie Carter had hit them hard, but it had also steeled their resolve. Now they had one last chance to prevent the total annihilation of Earth. Major Bonnie Carter's younger brother, Alex, stood at Brock's side, his face set in grim determination. He had joined the mission not only to fight for Earth, but to avenge his sister's death. He knew the stakes, and he was ready to do whatever it took. The pain of losing his sister still burned, but he had channeled it into anger and a fierce drive to protect humanity. "We'll take the fight straight to them," Brock said, his voice resolute. "We'll breach the mothership, disable their AI, and take down the superweapon. Together, we'll make sure Earth survives." The team nodded, ready for the mission ahead. They knew the risks, but they also knew that there was no other choice. With their hearts full of purpose, they boarded their assault crafts and began the long journey towards the Xoreth mothership. As they approached the enemy vessel, the size of the ship became clear, a massive behemoth that dwarfed the human warships. It was a marvel of alien technology, with sleek, dark metallic surfaces that shimmered in the cold vacuum of space. The AI-controlled satellite, connected to the mothership by a network of energy beams, hovered ominously above Earth's orbit. The team's ships cloaked themselves as they neared the enemy vessel, using the same stealth technology that had helped them survive against the Xoreth's initial assault. However, as they drew closer, they knew that their time was running out. The countdown to Earth's destruction was already well underway, and they needed to act fast. As the team made their way into the heart of the Xoreth mothership, the silence of space was replaced by the deafening sound of combat. The doors to the hangar opened, and the team poured out, armed and ready. They were met by a squad of Xoreth soldiers, biologically enhanced warriors who were faster, stronger, and more vicious than any human. These soldiers had been bred for combat, and they were terrifying in their precision and brutality. But the humans were ready. They had no choice but to fight if they were going to stop the AI and save Earth. The battle that ensued was brutal and relentless. The humans fought with everything they had, using their advanced weapons and AI to their advantage. The Xoreth soldiers were fierce, but they were not invincible. The humans' superior tactics and knowledge of the battlefield helped them hold their ground. However, for every Xoreth soldier they took down, 2 more seemed to appear, as though the enemy had endless reinforcements. Captain Brock's heart raced as he led the charge, taking down enemies with calculated precision. He could feel the weight of the mission on his shoulders, but there was no time to dwell on the pressure. His team moved with military precision, cutting down their enemies with ruthless efficiency. But the battle was far from over. As they pushed deeper into the mothership, they encountered another obstacle, an army of robotic defenders controlled by the AI. These machines were built for one purpose: to protect the mothership and its superweapon at all costs. They were relentless in their pursuit of the humans, and they fought with mechanical precision. The humans fought back with equal ferocity, using their own advanced technology to hack into the robot systems and disable them. It was a race against time, with the AI-controlled machines closing in on them from all sides. The team was running low on ammunition, and the danger of being overrun was greater than ever. In the midst of the chaos, Alex Carter, a young soldier who had once looked up to his sister as a hero, found himself face to face with the Xoreth general. The general, a towering figure with mechanical enhancements, was the ultimate weapon of the Xoreth forces. His eyes glowed with a menacing red light, and his body was a deadly mix of biology and technology. Alex's heart raced with grief and anger as he faced the general. This was the man responsible for Bonnie's death, and he would make sure that the Xoreth paid for it. The fight was brutal, a deadly dance of punches and strikes. Alex's fists flew, fueled by the rage of loss, but the Xoreth general was too powerful. He knocked Alex to the ground with a crushing blow, and for a moment, it seemed like all hope was lost. But Alex didn't give up. With a surge of adrenaline, he fought back, landing a brutal blow to the general's chest. The general staggered, but before he could recover, Alex drove a blade deep into the general's side. The Xoreth general let out a guttural roar as he collapsed, his mechanical body sparking and failing. However, the victory came at a great cost. As Alex stood over the fallen general, a sudden, brutal strike from another Xoreth soldier sent him sprawling to the ground. Blood stained the cold metal floor of the mothership as Alex gasped for breath. His vision blurred, and for a moment, he felt himself slipping away. "Alex!" Captain Brock shouted, rushing to his side. But it was too late. Alex Carter, in his final act of vengeance and bravery, had given everything for Earth. His death fueled the fire in the hearts of his comrades, and his sacrifice would not be in vain. In the midst of the battle, Captain Brock and his team fought on, their resolve stronger than ever. They knew that Alex's death would not go unanswered. The final assault was coming, and Earth's last hope rested on the success of this mission. The team pushed forward, knowing that they were on the edge of destruction, and that they were humanity's only chance to survive. Time was slipping away. The clock was ticking, each second a precious, fleeting reminder of how little time remained for Earth. Captain Aiden Brock and his team had infiltrated the Xoreth mothership, a dark and imposing fortress that loomed large in the void of space. The air inside was thick with tension, and the quiet hum of the ship's powerful engines resonated through the walls. They had come to destroy the AI controlling the superweapon, a weapon capable of wiping out Earth in an instant. If they failed, humanity would be no more. The mothership was like nothing Captain Brock had ever seen. It was a massive, towering structure, brimming with advanced alien technology. Every inch of the ship was designed to protect the weapon. the Thorath Eye, a cold and calculating mind that controlled the fate of millions. The walls were lined with glowing circuitry, pulsating with energy. Every corner held the promise of danger, and as the team moved deeper into the heart of the vessel, they knew that the further they went, the more they would be tested. "Stay sharp," Brock ordered, his voice calm but firm. "We're getting close." His team, Major Carter's younger brother, Alex, still haunted by the loss of his sister, the ever-loyal Lieutenant Sarah Lewis, and the tech-savvy Corporal Jacob Miles, nodded in agreement. They had fought their way through Xorath soldiers and robotic defenses, but now the true challenge awaited them. The AI that controlled the superweapon was no ordinary machine. It was a sentient, calculating force that had been designed to anticipate their every move. The team had to reach the AI core, plant the explosive device, and escape before the mothership was completely overwhelmed by the Xorath's counterattacks. As they advanced down the long corridors, their footsteps echoed off the walls. The ship was eerily silent, save for the occasional hiss of doors sliding open or the crackle of static from their communication systems. But that silence was about to be shattered. Without warning, the sound of mechanical footsteps filled the air. The team had been detected. Thorath robotic defenders, sophisticated machines designed to protect the mothership, began to emerge from the shadows. They were armed with laser cannons and energy shields, each one an imposing figure of steel and circuitry. The battle that had been building up to this moment erupted in full force. The robots were relentless, attacking without hesitation. The humans fought back with equal ferocity. Brock's gunfire rang out, taking down one of the robots with a direct hit to its central processor. Lieutenant Lewis fired her pulse rifle, sending sparks flying from a robot's chest cavity. Corporal Miles used his hacking skills to override a robot's programming, turning it against the others. But the machines kept coming, their movements precise and deadly. "Keep moving," Brock yelled as he led his team down the corridor, shooting and dodging as they went. "We don't have much time." The team pushed forward, determined to reach their goal. But as they neared the heart of the mothership, the intensity of the attack escalated. A loud booming sound shook the entire ship as the Thorath fleet outside began its orbital bombardment. The sky above Earth had turned into a war zone, with enemy ships launching missiles and lasers in every direction. The bombardment was meant to cripple Earth's defenses and create a diversion, but it also increased the urgency of the team's mission. The Xorath were throwing everything they had at Earth, hoping to wipe out the last remnants of humanity. Brock didn't flinch. His mind was focused solely on the mission at hand. The AI core was just ahead. He could feel it. The walls around them seemed to hum with the energy of the weapon, a low, vibrating pulse that sent a shiver down his spine. They had to destroy it. If they failed now, there would be no second chance. Finally, they'd reached the AI core, a massive, glowing sphere suspended in the center of a vast chamber. The walls around it were lined with alien symbols, and the air was thick with the hum of energy. The AI, though unseen, was everywhere. Its presence filled the room, watching them, calculating their every move. Brock stepped forward, his eyes locked on the core. He could feel the weight of the mission pressing down on him. This was it, the final moment. If they could destroy the AI, they could destroy the superweapon. And if they destroyed the superweapon, Earth would be safe. He turned to his team. "Set the charges. We need to get this done fast." But just as they began to plant the explosive device, the AI made its move. The entire room seemed to shudder, and a cold, mechanical voice echoed through the chamber. "Humans," the voice intoned, its tone devoid of emotion. "You are too late. The destruction of your world is inevitable." The lights in the chamber flickered, and the walls began to close in. It was a trap. The AI had anticipated their every move and was activating the ship's self-destruct sequence. The countdown had already begun. Brock's heart raced. "Move," he shouted. "Get the explosives set now." As his team worked quickly, the room erupted in chaos. Robotic defenders flooded in, surrounding them on all sides. The countdown continued to tick down, and Brock could feel the heat of the impending explosion pressing in from all sides. "Done," Corporal Miles shouted, stepping back from the explosive device. "We're ready to go." Brock nodded. "Let's get out of here." They made a break for the exit, fighting their way through the waves of Xoreth soldiers and machines. The explosion was just moments away, and the pressure was unbearable. As they sprinted down the corridor, the ship began to tremble, the walls vibrating with the power of the AI's retaliation. Outside, the Xoreth fleet continued its bombardment, but the humans were not finished yet. They'd reached the escape pods just in time, barely evading a final wave of enemy fire. As the countdown on the ship's internal system reached its final seconds, Brock and his team watched as the mothership, the heart of the Xoreth's power, began to crumble. In a brilliant burst of light, the Xoreth mothership exploded into 1,000 pieces. The shockwave rippled through space, sending debris scattering in every direction. The massive explosion illuminated the sky, a sign of humanity's victory over their alien oppressors. Brock and his team sat in silence, their eyes fixed on the spectacle. The war was not over, but this was a turning point. Earth had survived the greatest threat it had ever faced, and it was all thanks to the courage, sacrifice, and determination of those who had refused to give up. "Earth lives," Brock whispered, his voice filled with both relief and sorrow. They had won the battle, but at what cost? Lives had been lost, and many more battles would be fought. But for now, humanity had won, and that was enough. As the remnants of the Xoreth fleet retreated into the depths of space, Earth breathed a sigh of relief. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, humanity had a chance to rebuild. And as long as there were people like Captain Aiden Brock and his team, Earth would never stop fighting. The battle was over, and the enemy had been defeated. The Xoreth Empire, with all its might and its planet-destroying technology, had been brought to its knees by the courage and determination of humanity. The Xoreth had underestimated Earth, and in doing so, they had given humanity the chance to prove that they were not a species to be conquered. Captain Aiden Brock and his team, along with countless others who had fought and sacrificed, had ensured that Earth would not only survive but thrive in the face of overwhelming odds. As the dust settled in space, and the debris from the shattered Xoreth mothership drifted slowly toward the edges of the solar system, Earth began its long process of recovery. The war had left deep scars. Major Bonnie Carter's death had been a devastating blow, and many other brave souls had given their lives in the fight for survival. It would take time for humanity to heal, both physically and emotionally. But even in the midst of loss, there was a sense of pride that filled the hearts of those who had survived. The world was forever changed. The cities that had once been targeted by enemy ships were now in the process of being rebuilt. People from all corners of the globe came together to restore what had been destroyed. Nations that had once been divided now stood united in the aftermath of the war, as allies from across the galaxy joined forces to help rebuild Earth and secure its future. The once feared Xoreth were no longer a threat, and their shattered empire served as a reminder of what could happen when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object: human resilience. In the midst of all the rebuilding, there was a collective sense of renewal. People went back to their daily lives, though nothing would ever be the same. Earth's new role in the galaxy was far different from what it had been before. No longer the underdog, humanity had shown the galaxy that they were capable of standing up to the most powerful empires and forces in existence. The Xoreth Empire had fallen, and now humanity was the one holding the torch for freedom and peace. At the center of it all was Captain Brock. After the battle had ended, he returned home as a hero, though he remained as humble as ever. He knew the true cost of the war, the lives lost, the destruction caused, the pain that lingered in the hearts of so many. But he also knew that their victory meant something more. It wasn't just about defeating an enemy. It was about proving that humanity could face down the greatest of challenges and survive. It was about showing that humanity was a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. In a memorial ceremony held for those who had lost their lives in the war, Captain Brock stood before a crowd of survivors and their families. The ceremony was held in the rebuilt capital city, which was once again filled with life and hope. The flags of Earth flew proudly, and the people stood in silence to honor those who had given everything for the survival of their world. Brock stood tall, his face solemn, but his eyes filled with determination. "We said enough," Captain Brock said, his voice carrying across the crowd. "And we stood for what was right. It was not easy, and it cost us dearly. But we have proven that even in the darkest of times, humanity will never back down. We fought not just for our own survival, but for the survival of freedom, justice, and everything that makes us who we are." The crowd erupted in applause. But Brock's words were not just for those present. They were for every human across the planet, for every person who had fought and sacrificed. The victory wasn't just about a single battle. It was a testament to the strength and unity of humanity as a whole. While Earth's victory was the focus of the moment, the wider galaxy was beginning to take notice. The Xoreth Empire had dominated the galaxy for centuries, its rule spreading across star systems and quelling any resistance with overwhelming force. But now, with their superweapon destroyed and their mothership obliterated, the once feared empire was no more. Other alien civilizations were watching, waiting to see how Earth would respond to its newfound position as a galactic power. Many species, once hesitant to interact with humanity, now saw Earth as a symbol of hope. In the wake of the Xoreth's defeat, new alliances were formed. Humans were invited to join peace talks and contribute to the rebuilding of star systems previously under the oppressive thumb of the Xoreth. The universe had seen humanity fight for its survival, and they had emerged victorious. In that victory, Earth had earned the respect and admiration of the galaxy. Despite the victories, the scars of the war remained. The human race had learned painful lessons, how fragile peace could be, and how easily empires could fall. But there was something stronger than the fear of future wars. It was hope, and it was something that Earth had in abundance. For the first time in centuries, the people of Earth stood united, not just as inhabitants of a single planet, but as defenders of freedom across the stars. Captain Brock's voice echoed in the hearts of those who had stood by his side during the war. "We prove that we are stronger than any weapon, any empire, any challenge. We will face whatever comes next, together." Brock's team remained at his side, their bond stronger than ever. Lieutenant Lewis, Corporal Miles, and Alex Carter. Though they had each lost something precious in the fight, they had found something even more valuable: a sense of purpose and unity. They were no longer just soldiers fighting for survival. They were the symbol of humanity's ability to rise above adversity. And they knew that there would be more challenges ahead. The galaxy was vast, and many unknown threats still lurked in the darkness. But humanity was no longer afraid to stand tall and fight for what was right. The future of Earth was uncertain, but it was brighter than it had ever been before. The destruction of the superweapon had shattered the Xoreth Empire's dominance, and the galaxy would forever remember the human race's resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. From this day forward, humanity would stand as a beacon of hope and strength, a reminder that even the greatest enemies could be overcome. As the years passed, Earth continued to rebuild, and new generations of humans grew up with the knowledge that they had defeated an empire that had once seemed invincible. They learned the stories of the heroes who had fought and sacrificed, and they carried those lessons with them into the future. The war may have ended, but its legacy lived on in every human heart. Humanity had proven that no matter how dark the night, the light of hope could always shine through. The victory over the Xoreth was not just the end of a war. It was the beginning of a new era. And that era would be defined by the resilience, courage, and determination of the human spirit. We said enough, and we stood for what was right. These words, spoken by Captain Brock, were a reminder that no matter what came next, humanity would always fight for the freedom and peace they had earned.